Hey, what's going on? Ryan here with Intersection Records, and another Monday with Miles Davis after taking last week off. And we're talking about the musing of Miles Davis. So this is the first 12-inch Miles Davis album. Okay, this is on Prestige after a series of 10-inch discs. In September of '55, this was recorded. It was, released. It was recorded on June 7th of '55, and again, the musing of Miles Davis. So Miles has come off of an addiction to heroin. Miles is clean here and ready to restart and reboot his career. This is pre his comeback at Newport later on in the summer. It's pre his fully realization of his first great quintet. Yet you do have Red Garland on piano. You have Philly Joe Jones, who would be the rhythm section, part of the rhythm section of that great quintet. But you have Oscar Pettiford on bass. So, this is not essential stuff. Again, Miles is feeling it out. There are some great moments on this album. We're going to go through this track by track. Rudy Van Gelder's Hackensack, New Jersey studio was used. Ben Weinstock was the producer. And, this thing starts off with Will You Still Be Mine? A Matt Dennis and Tom Adair track. It's 6 minutes and 23 seconds. We're getting into longer form songs because we have 12 inches to work with here. Lush and rich sounding, Rudy's sound in that studio there in New Jersey. Nice Garland solo. Red Garland's just such a great pianist, such a great piece of this band. Again, no saxophone here. Miles is the only horn. This is a quartet album. Entering the heyday of recorded jazz here by 1955, right? And rare to hear Miles so naked. Again, he's going to be taking primarily the solos. There are great solos in this album by Garland, and we will get to that. The second song, I See Your Face Before, Arthur Schwartz and Howard Dietz. Ballad, Miles, muted trumpet, production, not as crisp here, actually. After talking about Rudy's studio, for one reason or the other, for me, not quite as crisp. The first side ends with a Miles Davis tune, I Didn't. Oscar is bouncing around on bass. Pettiford was used with Miles several times. And here, certainly, again, on Musing with Miles. One of the album's best songs, probably I Didn't. Strong Chops by Miles. Garland takes a long solo. Flip the album over, and we have another Arthur Schwartz song, this time featuring Leo Robin on the 5 minute and 18-second A Gal in Calico. A little bit of filler here. It's just kind of pedestrian. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing jumps off the charts. Nothing really makes you want to continue to revisit it. It's just okay. And again, this really is not essential Davis. It's nice to have in the collection. And if you're a completist, you're going to have it. But it's not something you need to run out today and go buy. A Night in Tunisia, of course, a Dizzy Gillespie song with Frank Paparelli. 7 minutes and 23 seconds. It's a really nice take on a standard classic song. One of the standout tracks. Miles pulls it off brilliantly. Again, copying chops that maybe Charlie Parker would do. He doesn't have a sax player here, so he's doing all the heavy lifting. Red rips through a magnificent solo on The Night in Tunisia. The last track is Green Haze, a almost 6 minute track on this 35-minute album. Very smooth, similar to the second track. Not as crazy about this, though. Similar to the second track, there's a drum ride and snare sound that gets buzzy for me, and I can't articulate the differences in the notes like you can later in some recording stuff. And even some of the stuff that Philly Joe Jones would do, who's one of my all-time favorite drummers. There's just not a lot of definition in the drums, and it takes away from it. But it is a top track. That being said, again, nothing is stunning here. Nothing's going to blow you away. It's probably not a great place to start with Miles Davis, but it's certainly interesting historically because we are talking about Miles being clean, first great quintet, him coming out at Newport, him signing with Columbia, and really becoming the man that becomes a legend. This microphone is a Neumann U47. That would be covered up right here. There's a microphone here, and it's the famous Sinatra microphone. And if you look at your copy, you'll see where this prestige thing is covering up kind of a famous style of microphone. Anyway, that doesn't matter. We're going to pick next week's offering out of here, and we're going to go with, this would feature the first great quintet, and it's Jazz at the Plaza, recorded live at the Plaza Hotel in New York in September 9th of 58. And we're going to feature Bill Evans instead of Red Garland, and I guess instead of Wynton Kelly at that point. We're going to have some fun with Jazz at the Plaza. It's an outstanding live album, taking in the Coltrane Band with Bill Evans. Bill Evans, Miles Davis, and Coltrane. That can't be bad. Check out my channel. We do shows every day. Peace out. We'll see you next week on Monday with Miles. Bye-bye.